You can't possibly win. The US government is the most powerful government in the world. The interests that have pushed a publisher and a journalist behind these cruel walls are immense. And we know that because we live at times of war. We see it every day on the television. We see powerful interests making money out of people's misery. We saw it in Iraq, we saw it in Afghanistan, we see it in the Ukraine. $20 billion. Mr. Biden, President Biden, has committed to the war in the Ukraine. How much joy and pleasure and happiness can you bring in people's lives with 20 billion? Yet they choose, instead of building hospitals, instead of building schools, to fuel the drums of war and spend 20 billion on the war machine. This money is paid to the private military industry in the United States and around the world. Is this how we want our tax money to be spent? Not in our name. So whenever people ask me, why bother? The answer is very clear, because we are on the right side of history. This has always been the job of people who care, people who dream of a better world, to physically do something towards that dream. And Julian Assange, motivated by the same powerful humanistic value of improving people's lives, of stopping the wars, of supporting peace, of increasing education, embarked on a journey of educating the public about the most secretive actions of government around the world, the most secretive actions of the military around the world. And hundreds of sources answered the call and submitted to WikiLeaks original documents that educated the public around the world about what is being done behind closed doors, with our tax money, in our name, but without our consent. It was these actions that he took that led him to this place here. And every thinking person objects to what has occurred, because we support the people who help society go forward. We don't throw them into jail. This is not the way we choose to live. And this is why we are here. That motivation will never stop. No matter what, we will continue to demand free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
But how do we make the politicians reflect the values that we represent as people? This is an extremely interesting question. We're supposed to be a democracy. You have all experienced the solidarity of the British public with Julian Assange. There is no doubt people are on his side. How do we turn this from a dream and good wishes to actual action by our government? And this is our role, in trying whatever way we can to influence those politicians, to force them to free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Nothing changes without a very clear goal. We have a very clear goal. Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
And we also have a secondary. We know how to get there. We've got to get the politicians to demand the freedom of Julian Assange. Parliament at the moment, out of the 651 members of Parliament, only 21 have dared to sign it. This early day motion supports Julian Assange, addresses the Home Minister against the extradition of Julian Assange. Every single one of us must write, as I have, to our members of Parliament and demand that they respect the values that we represent. And free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!